I'm going to tell you about this junk wax miracle we just had, but this video is going to include a bunch of exciting updates from some of the packs and openings we had recently. So did we open a $1,000 pack? Let me explain. We bought a sealed box of 1986 O-pee-chee cards, and if you're not familiar with these, they look exactly like Topps cards. They were produced in Canada. Their production quality is slightly lower than Topps cards, and they're much more rare. I've been opening packs on our live streams with my daughters, and so we did one here, and we create a kind of like chase card list here, which includes, Tony Gwynn, Don Mattingly, Nolan Ryan, Jim Rice, Ryne Sandberg, Roger Clemens, including Darryl Strawberry, Kirby Puckett, and Rickey Henderson. So let's get right into it. So we were going through the box, and literally this is one pack. So this pack my daughter's opening had two of our chase cards in it. So we've got first right there on top is this 1986 O-pee-chee Nolan Ryan card. It's in pretty good condition. I didn't even notice at the time, but it actually had some wax residue on top of it. And one of our viewers on the live stream told us to use pantyhose and slightly rub. It took a long time, but it worked like a charm and really took the wax right off the surface, and the card still looks pretty clean. So we're going to send that to grading. A PSA 9 Nolan Ryan gets $240 of this 1986 O-pee-chee, and I couldn't find a comp for the PSA 10. And then as my daughter's going through the rest of this pack, you're going to see this right here. We next hit the Ryne Sandberg card. This one's in even better conditioning. I forgot to mention the Nolan Ryan top to bottom centering wasn't as great. That's why I started at a 9 or lower for that one. But the Ryne Sandberg looks in great condition. I think this has a shot at being a PSA 10. There were no visible defects. It came in the middle of the pack, which is really nice. I didn't really realize the O-pee-chee packs had only 10 cards instead of the typical 15 for Topps. So your top card is really damaged with wax, and the bottom card, in this case, because it was so old, was pretty much destroyed with the bubble gum stuck on them. So we were lucky that the Ryne Sandberg came in the middle, and the combined value of what we think we can get out of this pack may be over $1,000. We're super excited about that. However, that's not all we got from that box, and so our total haul was the one Nolan Ryan and Ryne Sandberg card. We also got a Roger Clemens O-pee-chee card, where a PSA 10 is worth $370, a PSA 9 is worth $85. We got two of the Pete Rose cards, which PSA 9s are for $240, and we still couldn't find a comp for the PSA 10. We got one Don Mattingly, where a PSA 10 is worth $500 and a PSA 9 is $100. We also got a Cecil Fielder, a Keith Hernandez, and a Vince Coleman, which would have to grade really well. In total, the box cost us $200. All of them have been sent off to grading, and if I had to place my bets, I think we're going to get our money back on this box from these cards here. The Clemens, one or two of the Roses, and the Mattingly, I think, are going to come together to get us a nice profit on this one, but it's also fun just to see what happens. Speaking of profits from boxes, we also opened on our live stream a 1993 Pinnacle box, which really has only one chase card, which is this really, really great looking Derek Jeter rookie card. The box was $100, and we did another live stream, including one of our subscribers works in a hospital with children in Japan. And so while we're streaming at night, they're starting their morning, and he puts it on the TVs so the kids can watch it. We're super grateful for you to join it. I just can't believe this channel's gone global. And we were able to pull two Derek Jeter cards from this one box. Looking at the cards, I knew immediately I was going to send them to SGC. Because of the black border and the look of the card and Derek Jeter and his pinstripes, I love, for my personal collection, the look of the SGC grade cards. So we sent those off, and we got a 9.5 and a 9 from SGC. Now, these are amazing looking cards. I love how they look in SGC. And when you actually look at the values of the cards, around 100 plus a 70, we definitely made our money back and more, including grading fees from this box. And as I wanted to mention, I could have sent them off to PSA, but the PSA holder, and it's just not as nice looking, especially with the design of this Jeter card. So I thought they both deserved to be in the SGC holders. And so we did what I think any responsible baseball card enthusiast would do. And we took the profits from this box and we bought another box of the 1993 Pinnacle cards for $100. and opened them again on our YouTube live stream, and we had our friends in Japan join again, and we were able, or lucky enough, to pull one more Derek Jeter card, which is in the mail, and head off to be graded by SGC. Now I want to spend, before I tell you some of the other exciting things that we got recently, maybe the last month or so, I do want to tell you a little bit about this year. I'm doing stuff a little bit differently. My 25 years of making money with sports cards, I've almost always bought and sold graded cards. I don't like to take the risk of sending cards off to be graded. I like to look at data and find good deals of existing graded cards. And this is a Hank Aaron card that I currently recently sold. So it's very different to be buying wax, and in some way it's really not an investment. It's more for fun. I don't think in the long run you're likely to make a lot of profit by ripping wax. But I found that it's actually the best way to get my daughters involved, as well as my nieces, and they become so interested in participating in the lives. If you joined our live streams, you've probably seen them open some packs. They get really excited about it, and then they learn more about how to make content for YouTube, which is, I hope, something that they decide to grow up and do for whatever their own hobbies and interests are in the future. So that's just a little bit of background on why we're having so much fun opening wax recently. The other thing that's uncharacteristic for me and my channel is that I bought this lot of raw Rickey Henderson cards. So there's 6 1980 Topps Rickey Henderson cards. I had the opportunity to purchase them for $545. Buying raw ungraded cards is super risky because even though they can look good in pictures and the scans, until you actually have them in your hands and you can look at the edges, the chipping, the corners, any print defects and those types of things up close, you don't really know what you're buying. So this was definitely a risk. But when you look at the values of the Rickey Henderson cards from PSA 10, 9, 8, 7, or 6, it felt like something that I thought would be fun and something I tried to do. I was hoping for some 7s and maybe 1 or 2 8s to make this pay out and be profitable. Again, I almost never buy ungraded cards, but sort of my love for Rickey Henderson, specifically this Rickey card, I decided to take it a little bit of a risk and have fun. Here is what we got back. In general, they scored lower than expected. I should say lower than I was hoping. When I got the cards in person, I could see some flaws that I knew that we were not really going to see 8s and 9s out of this haul. So we sold 2 of them already, but you can see kind of the values here. And when you put it all together, there's roughly about $600 in value of the graded cards that we got back. eBay will take 15%, so $90 in fees. I invested $114 in grading them and also purchased the cards for $545. So taking this risk and having some fun will probably be a $150 loss, which is not something that I want to do often, but it was kind of fun to do. And so I decided with this experience to do the most practical thing for a baseball card enthusiast, which is I went on eBay and bought another lot of Rickey Henderson cards that I thought looked maybe even a little bit better than the ones I just received. So these were listed for $1,275. To me, it's just completely out of the price range. So I was watching this auction, but really didn't do anything about it. And the seller, over a week or so, ended up sending me an offer to sell them for $750. So I kind of knew that they were willing to negotiate and maybe they could get close to where I thought would be a good deal. So we went back and forth. It was kind of a tougher negotiation, and I understand their perception of the value of the cards, but I explained my experience and I said I just went through this, and while they look like nice cards, I lost money on the last lot. So here's where the most I'm willing to pay, and we netted out at $560. And so these have also been sent off to grading. So make sure you stay tuned and subscribe to see any of the fun updates that come out of these Rickey Henderson cards. And while you're at it, make sure you watch some of our most popular videos here. And thank you again so much for joining our video and our channel.